Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to do some searching, and I have this spirit that's telling me to talk to you right now, and I'm in the car, so my lighting might be kind of awkward, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I want you to know that everything that I talk to you about is about freedom. It's about your freedom. It's about your joy. It's about the happiness and the purpose for life that we are being denied for a couple of reasons. We're being abused and we're ignorant. So this is to kind of break the ignorance and at the same time set an example of what needs to be done. Now, for instance, I have spent 40 years out here trying to tell you that God says you're on your path to hell. Who? Everybody. Everybody's on the path to hell. It's just like the flood. Everybody except one or two. The whole doggone world thought they were cool. I know some of the things that has to do with a metaphor, but whatever you want to call it, just check it out. That's exactly what it is. People don't want to listen to God and just want to do their own thing, even though it causes pain and suffering to others. And there's nothing wrong with doing your own thing. It's when it causes pain and suffering to others that it's a counterfeit. Well, the truth of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, for 40 years out here talking to you, telling you this, I know now that it's no good, it has done no good. Now, first of all, let me make you aware of the fact that all of your life you've been here in America, and for those of you who are coming here and trying to study the American way, you've focused on the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and preambles, and state laws, and etc., etc. Now, we still live in a system that, since you've been here, and especially the ones that grew up here, you know its shortcomings. You know the wherewithal that you don't want to be a part of. You know that. All right. Now, who wants to be a part of that? No one. But so many people are. Why? I have shared with you, ladies and gentlemen, that there's one system of government that answers your prayers and your concerns, and that's the government of the Creator, the government that was designed to be perfected, to be perfect. That's the government that I speak to you of all the time. That's the government that I advocate for, God's government. I have also shared with you that every government on the face of the earth is established in opposition to God's government. It is established in opposition to God's government. Now, you go to church all the time and hear somebody talk to you about God, but I want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, about this organization. This organization is designed such as this, and it's all over the world, got their own little special ways of doing it, but a lot of those things are common and unique. For instance, the United States got its system of government that says we're going to be a democracy. We're going to give people a chance to participate in what we do. We're not just going to be a dictatorship. We're going to give them participation. Not knowing that people will one day recognize that a dictator could be one person, or a dictator could be a democracy where the majority becomes a dictator and inflict the same pain on the minority that an individual did. Oh, they don't think about that or don't care. They just tricking you to make you think you're doing something extra. And they're going to make it about money, which will allow you to do all of those things that God has already designed to be done. Only this time, when it was made available for everybody, this one will be made available to the ones that who has money. Who has money? No money, no game. So that's the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. So I say to you, they've given you all of the information, giving you all the information. Still people talking about God. Now they say, well, this is going to be our government. We're going to have it set up on, we have a political system that embraces Republicans and Democrats. Now they are diabolically opposed to one another, they say, but they're really brothers. They're both going down the same path. One is just acting like he's lost his mind, rushing. The other one is dragging his feet, taking his time. But either one of those ships you're on, you're going straight to hell. Why? Because they are in anti-God mode. Now, I say these things to you, ladies and gentlemen. And you say, why do I say this? Let me tell you. You know, the American people have become so caught up in evil till you can't even see it. You got a system of government that's set up that you say that you've been taught all your life since you've been in America, as I was said earlier. The system of government. It tells you about how civics work. It tells you about how government works, how politics, all that stuff. It tells you how it works. Okay? Then all of a sudden you get a president who comes in and violate everything that you've been taught. And all of those rules that have been set up designed to protect you from this deep state of evil fails you. He walks all over it. Then you have a voice of the people through the House who's saying, hey man, you just violated this stuff. You can't stay here. You got to go. Now, you're hoping it's real. You don't think they're putting on a show. But this man doesn't go anywhere. They send him over to the Senate, the one that's supposed to be the other people that you've chosen to go over there to protect you from this kind of evil. And what do? They go over there and say, no, we're gonna let him stay. Well, you say, but this is wrong. This is not the way well, I don't care. We got the power, and we're gonna let this one stay. Now, why are you gonna let him stay? Well, this one gives us more power. It gives us a chance to stack our courts. Now, we know this evil will do that. Stacking our Supreme Court, stacking all the courts at the federal level, stacking every court that we can, every position that was designed to have power in the structure of this government, going to replace them with his own lackeys. And we're going to run everything. So rather now, we, the Republican Party, Donald Trump's party, not Republican Party any longer. Republican Party was just a tool that was used. Now Donald Trump's party is going to be kicking butt to all of those that he was talking about all along. People of color, poor people, anybody that's not an American. Only to protect the interests of the wealthy. Not white people in general, but the wealthy. And I say to you, they say, well, this is not all. This is our governmental structure. And we legitimize it, we sanctify it by making the Pope God's representative on earth. Run all across the globe. And you go to church every Sunday talking about God. And now you see this system right before your face. They went there and killed George Floyd, killed so many other people. And nothing is being really done about it. People who had health care protection, they've taken that away because you don't matter in their new plan. Job protection really doesn't matter because whatever you make, they allow you to make, the price is going to take that right away from you. And you sit there calling yourself a child of God. And I'm sitting here, ladies and gentlemen, telling you that you are not a child of God. I'm telling you that you are caught up in this evil, caught up in it, that will keep your butt out of heaven. Now, I know somebody told you that you just be good. Everybody's evil. But God, through the death of Jesus Christ, let me ask you something. Do you think the death of Martin Luther King freed you from anything? Do you think the death of Malcolm X freed you from anything? You're just a bigger fool today as you were when Martin Luther King was living and when Malcolm X was living. You're just a bigger fool today as you were when Jesus Christ was living, if he was living at all. But the ideal definitely is a lie. And you're just the biggest fool as you ever been. With all of this going on in this country, all of this going on in this country, all of this pain, all of this suffering, and you know darn well it's, well, forgive me. You don't know. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know darn well that this is evil. And if you do, you still don't know what to do. I was talking to you because I remember when I was a kid, you tried to convince me that you did know. And as I was growing up, you still try to convince me as you did know. But as I got my call and went out there, I was qualified to find out that you did not know. You might have thought you knew, but you don't know, and your actions depicts exactly that. You don't know. And so I was given the charge to come out here and tell you, to remind you. I'm fussing because I keep forgetting that you had me thinking that you know. But now I'm back on my right mind. I know you don't know. So I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, pain, and suffering in any society is the reflection of the failure of that society to respect God. And as long as that disrespect exists, it is no one in that society exempt from standing up for God and making it right. And if you can't stand up for righteousness, if you can't stand up for God, if you ain't got enough courage, enough faith to do that, so that your brothers and sisters who could be you are suffering, then you don't know a darn thing about God. And anybody who told you a lie that you getting up into heaven lied to you. Why would heaven want a crook like you? Why would heaven want a coward like you? Who would want you in any society, a poor society, people who are suffering? Would they want you there to represent them? Heck no. So stop telling those lies to yourself when you're sitting here looking at these people crying, looking at these. Oh boy. Oh man, I'm fussing again. Look like, ladies and gentlemen, you should know. You should know. You know, the white men in America didn't make America land and trees. They didn't do that. A power that we can't see, can't touch, can't feel did that. The resources that we use for the food, the clothing, the shelter, the education, the healthcare, God gave us that, and the knowledge that men are applied comes from God through them as instruments to protect us. We are God's children, but our purpose here is for creation. We're supposed to be here creating things, for God is an expression through us. We're not supposed to be here tearing down stuff for one people. We're not tearing down stuff for one man, tearing down stuff for one nation. We are a heavenly body. And wherever we are to be is heavenly, supposedly. And if we can't do that, then we just been kidding ourselves. Now I've said enough. Thank you very much for listening.